So hello everybody and welcome to our first book review. This time it is Hans Rosling and this is Factfulness. Here is Hans. And this is the Swedish version in color, but obviously you will find it in English and in other languages. A really, really, really good book to read if you want to know more about the world, data visualization, arguing with data, okay? It will amaze you for sure. It is written in a very entertaining way, so you will get through it pretty quickly. I have to say, I am a very fast reader, but this book took me forever to read because, you know, every time he challenged one of my views of the world, I would have, I would stop reading and I would argue in my head as to why I think he was wrong and then continue reading. He would say, oh, probably you're thinking this and that, but then you have to consider this and that. and I would feel that I was having a discussion with him while he was reading my mind, challenging my thoughts and saying why what I was thinking was wrong. It was a really weird experience. But here's the thing, Hans has been done these for many, many, many years. He starts the book actually with a questionnaire. It's 13 questions where he encouraged you to answer so you can have a baseline as to what your understanding of the world is at. And he had actually done that questionnaire with anybody he met. His students, he was traveling the world, he was meeting the United Nations, he was meeting the biggest CEOs in the world, and anybody and everybody that would listen to him, he would talk to. And he realized that everybody has a very outdated view, and they would give him all these arguments as to why he was wrong. So, I mean, he has probably heard any argument that you have, and he has an answer to it on the book. So you'll probably prepare yourself for some hefty discussions with the book. At least that was my experience. It was mind-blowing, really. If we go back to, the questionnaire, the book starts actually with a questionnaire. 13 questions, gives you the answers and say, okay, how did you do? And then he says, you probably didn't do that good, right? Which probably you won't. And then he starts saying that he actually, again, did a questionnaire with many, many people, and everybody gets it wrong, very, very wrong. He says like this, and let me show you this visualization, it's just fantastic. The visualizations on the book are just great. Here's the visualization. I'm going to post it here so you can see it in big screen. So you're probably not going to see it. In this visualization, you can see the results of question number 1, and then you can see the green bars is saying how many people answer what from which part of the world, and then you see an image of a chimp. And you're probably wondering, like, what is a chimpanzee doing there? Well, obviously, while reading the book, he explains it to you. He says like this, okay, imagine that I go to a zoo and I give a chimp 3 bananas, one with A, one with a letter B, and one with a letter C on it. And I ask the chimp to pick a banana. So the results of that random picking would be the chimp image that you see in there. Meaning that we did worse than a chimp, or in other words, we did worse than if we would randomly pick an answer, which means that our decision, our answers to the questionnaire are not random. We actually had some beliefs that are not true anymore. And I thought that way to explain it was just brilliant. So you will see the chimp everywhere winning, winning every single question. It was mind-blowing. Here's the thing, in the book, he's not only trying to prove that your views of the world are outdated, he is also trying to create a new framework for us to work on and think of. And he divides the world, instead of develop and not develop, or industrialize, not industrialize, he says that the world is divided in 4 levels, or 4 buckets. And, there are a lot of ways to measure economic growth and compare economic growth. One popular way to do it is, for example, the McDonald's Big Mac Index. I don't know if you've seen it, but it basically tells you how much a Big Mac costs on each country. And it is supposed to give you an idea of the different levels of economics, comparing countries. And let me say like this. Let's say I tell you that a McDonald's Big Mac costs, I don't know, $3 on Mexico, and it costs $6 on Sweden. So you might think, oh, so the people of Sweden have more economical power. But what does it really mean? It is actually quite difficult to grasp. I mean, there is a number, it is lower. You understand that maybe the people of Sweden have more economical power, but what does it really mean? So when they created the framework and they divided the world into 4 buckets, they wanted to make sure, and they, is Hans, his son, and his daughter-in-law. So they wanted to make sure that it was explained in a way that you could relate to, and that is the power of visualization and storytelling. So when dividing the world in 4 buckets, they actually give you characteristics of the different buckets so you could have an understanding of what it means to be level 1, level 2, level 3, or level 4. And they did it marvelously by putting images. I will put it up there. So you can see how a person on level 1 had access to water, how it moved, what it ate, how a bed looked like. So you have a feeling of what it actually means. So for example, if you are on level 1 and you are going somewhere, you're going by foot. By foot. There's no other way. If you are on level 2, you probably have a bike. If you're on level 3, you have a motorbike, motorcycle. And then if you are on level 4, you probably have a car. Right? So now you can place yourself in different buckets. And it'll show you how your bed would look like, how it is absolutely real. I understood what each level mean. And I come from Spain. I've lived in Spain for 20 years. And I remember going to my grandmother's house. And I remember seeing, for example, the toilet was a hole, not in my grandmother's house, but in the bars and in other places, there was a hole on the ground. That was a toilet. And I was thinking back, like, oh my God, how far have we gone in Spain, right? From a very short time, we've moved quite a few levels, and that has happened with a lot of countries. And I think that just by making this visual representation of what it means to be on each level, you can go on that journey in your mind easier. So it is a very powerful way to tell a story of a person or a situation of a person with images and with situations in life that you can relate to. Really, really wonderful. I have not forgotten about the different levels just because of that. I thought it was a brilliant way to visualize and tell a story. And that is something that you're going to find throughout this book. The visualizations on the book are brilliant. I'm going to give you another example. This is, and it is on page 133, at least on the Swedish book. I'm going to put it here so you can see it. And it is a graph showing the number of people that would die due to natural catastrophes, right? So if it is a hurricane or earthquake or whatever it is, how many people are likely to die on each level. So after he presents the level, so he segments the world in levels all the time, so you can get a better picture of what it actually is. And you could actually create a bar chart with this, right? You create a bar chart and then you will see, oh, level 1 is going to have more deaths. And that would not have the same impact as the visualization that he did. He actually put bar charts together with an infographic. And the infographic is like these death stones. I'm not sure what the name is in English now. And it makes everything so much powerful. You are actually seeing, okay, this is number of people dead. It's not a bar in a color. It's just number of people dead, and you can actually see the number of people because it is 31 that would die in level 1, they draw 31. This is the power of infographics. So how you can transform a bar graph chart into an infographic that will actually add more value to the information that you want to convey. This wouldn't have been as powerful if I would have just chosen a bar chart, right? So how you present your data will actually have a huge impact on how you take in the information. You will see everywhere throughout the book that the visualizations have been made very, very carefully to make you reflect about the stories that he wants to tell in this book. So in summary, this book is going to challenge your views of the world. It's going to help you see how you can use data, facts, visualization to actually create arguments to prove or disprove something. It's actually going to show you the power of good visualizations, how you can use a visualization, change it a little bit, and create an emotional connection to the reader so they can actually understand what you're trying to tell. Understand the story, not just the number. Put a story behind the number, if we would say so. It will show you beautiful, amazing visualizations that you can make a connection to. I read somewhere that nobody remembers what you say, nobody remembers what you do, but everybody remembers how you make them feel. And this book will make you feel something. Either you will be angry or surprised or confused or enlightened. It won't leave you numb, I can tell you that. It's going to be a roller coaster that it is worth taking. So make yourself a favor, go and buy it. I know that the Bill Gates Foundation actually gave this book for free before. I don't think they do it anymore, which is a pity. I think this book should be free for everybody. I think the United Nations should just send a copy to everybody on the email because it is that good. So if you have read it, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. If you haven't, please do, and then come back and tell me what you think. And I have actually, as for my second book at Alberto Cairo's, I think it's the first visualization book. So I'm going to read that, but if you have any suggestions about other books that you would like me to read and review, just let me know again on the comment box and I will do that. So I hope you enjoy the review. Please read this book. It's so, 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 so good. And I will see you again on the next book review when I finish Alberto's book. Okay? So until then, take care. Bye-bye.